Hello, Charlie Redding from Efficient Portfolio here. I just want to take a couple of minutes to explain a little bit about the way that we invest our clients' money, because I think it's far and away the best approach to investing money. Now, over the years, we've invested clients' money in a number of different ways, but for about 8 years, we ran our own portfolios, what we call model portfolios. And so we've got a really good understanding of the pros and cons of investing in different ways. And when we ran our own portfolios, not only would we select the underlying investments within the portfolio, but also the overriding strategy. Now, research shows that 80% of the returns come from the strategy side of the portfolio, what gets known as the asset allocation, the spread of the investments in terms of how much goes in stocks and shares, how much goes in bonds, how much in property. But probably 80% of the work for both the client and the advisor comes from the underlying fund selection and the underlying movement of those funds. So we decided when we could find a cost-effective way of doing it to outsource that bit to what's called a discretionary fund manager, somebody that focuses purely on that part of the investment process, leaving us to focus on the bit that we're best at, which is the financial planning. So when we're designing a portfolio for a client, the first part is to understand their tolerance to risk. And then what we want to do is try and allow them to have the portfolio that delivers the best returns possible for that given level of risk. And that's all around investing along what's called the efficient frontier, something that Harry Markowitz won the Nobel Prize for many, many years ago. So once we've agreed what level of risk is appropriate for a client given their tolerance to risk, but also given their situation and the amount of time they're going to be invested for, what we can then do is start to think about the strategy. So we can look at that strategy, the asset allocation, and make sure that that ties in with the client's specific situation, their needs, when they expect to need the money, what they need that money to do for them. And at that point, we can delegate that portfolio to being managed by the discretionary manager. And what that allows us to do is get significantly better returns and significantly better control over what's going on with the portfolio. In addition to that, the discretionary manager has much more time to research the markets ahead and in the past, and so what they can do is they can tilt the portfolio and tilt that asset allocation to make it even better given the market that we're in today, taking account of things like where interest rates are and what expected growth rates are on particular different assets. And they do that through an approach called the Black-Litterman approach, or the Black-Litterman theory. In addition, they can continually rebalance the portfolio at the optimum times, and this alone is shown to add a significant amount of extra growth to the portfolio. This rebalancing means that you're effectively taking the gains from the higher risk assets and locking them into the lower risk assets at the right time. Whereas most managers end up just doing this on an annual or a quarterly basis. So trigger rebalancing really helps boost the performance of the portfolio. And what this allows us to do is spend more time focusing on your financial planning, focusing on making sure that you pay less tax, focusing on making sure that you've got enough money to deliver the future of your dreams. That's what we're best at, and that's why we appoint a full-time discretionary fund manager to manage your client money. I hope this explains how and why we invest in the way that we do, but if you've got any more questions about this, we'd be delighted to answer them. Thank you very much.